This program touches on so many important issues for our federal government and mobility.
Whether you drive or bicycle, that sort of infrastructure, both people benefit because you have less motorized traffic, which is better for the driver, and improved infrastructure for cyclists. So I think that's a great win-win.
We really expect these bikes will transform the city of Minneapolis. We're making it so that biking is a more normal part of transportation.
We've taken some new folks who really aren't used to these transportation modes and shifted them onto non-motorized approaches.
If we want to encourage bicycling and walking, we have to have the proper infrastructure for that.
You get the sense that it's going to make a difference in their lives and in their kids' lives.
Walk Bike Marin has lit a fire in this community. Not only did it inspire all of our cities and towns to adopt bicycle and pedestrian master plans that lay out their own visions for the future, it's engaged a whole new part of our community in all of our transportation planning processes.
As someone who lives here and is outside and always around all the activity in the city, it appears to me that it's really working.
We have seen a dramatic increase in the numbers of students and parents that are bicycling and walking to schools here in Marin County. And we think this is fantastic, a direct result of the improvements that have been made to our roadways and pathways to schools, making them safer and encouraging everybody to get out of their cars and to be more active.
It's given opportunities for people to move safely through their community, away from traffic. It's provided an opportunity for a disadvantaged community to open up a whole new realm in their own county. And most importantly, perhaps, it's providing commuters with a very viable and actually time-saving alternative.
It allows us to be both innovative, creative in terms of the way we try to match up pedestrians and bicyclists to existing resources. These folks are still riding their own bicycles. They're still walking to things. And so the reality is that can we place our bus stops and our amenities in communities where services exist? Can we bolster those? As we watch the population age, if we don't start to get on the ball with regard to planning in that way, we're going to find ourselves at a disadvantage and we're not going to be able to meet the demands of the county.
People recognize that federal dollars have come and helped our community to create something that's pretty unique. And we're already seeing it. We're seeing people walking to work. We're seeing more people riding their bikes. Even though this is a winter climate, people are out and about much more than they were before.
Well, I ride Nice Ride bikes myself. I find it real convenient. It's terrific. It's good for my health and a great way to get around the city.
We applaud the federal government for this important investment in our future. We just have many, many, many more people walking and biking, and as a function of that, our obesity rate is one of the lower rates in California.
Nice Ride was just a way to build physical activity into people's lives. They can be more active, easily get where they want to go, and it's one step we're taking to try to control the problem of obesity.
There are many business people that I know that really find this to be a great asset to everything that's going on in the community. It relates to having people move here. It certainly relates to the quality of life that we offer here.
A number of businesses, particularly downtown businesses, are actively promoting the use of Nice Ride bikes to their employees. Businesses recognize that when employees ride bikes, they move more, they're going to be healthier, they're going to have lower healthcare costs, it's good for their health, it's good for the company's bottom line. So many businesses are realizing this is an asset for them and for the city.
We're looking at this as both an asset for our population and as a major draw to get people into our city.
We're deeply grateful that there were federal funds for this program, but I have to tell you, this isn't just about being good to cities and communities. It's a smart use of tax dollars. By doing this work, we've been able to make relatively inexpensive improvements that dramatically shift people off of streets. Had we not moved all these people into walking and biking, we would have to be making multi-million, hundreds of million-dollar improvements on roads and bridges and freeways. This is not only good for cities, but it's a heck of a good way to use a tax dollar.
Over the last 50 years, we've invested a lot of time and money and effort in supporting and advancing land use patterns that are both inefficient and unsustainable and have made us a very auto-dependent society. The good news is that we're well on our way to relearning, rethinking, and reshaping our communities in very positive ways.
If we can reduce the costs associated with building more roads, with dealing with traffic, and if we can eliminate some of that congestion, improving the health of the community, that is a tremendous step in the right direction.
The other thing about Walk Bike Marin that I think is particularly exciting, of course, is the huge numbers that have moved from their use of the automobile into using walking and biking, which is a benefit to the congestion issues, public health issues, and just the connectivity to transit in general.
We have thousands of people riding every day in their suits who never would have been on a bike before.
Well, before this I occasionally rode, now I normally ride.
The University of Minnesota is really fortunate to have the federal governor be a partner with us in improving all of our transportation modes, but particularly biking and walking on campus. It's also just good business. You know, we can't afford the parking ramps, the gas, or the pollution control improvements if we were trying to drive ourselves out of the transportation needs we have for this campus.
This is what we need to be doing more nationally, and I'm sure all the other pilots would say the same.
We couldn't have done it without those federal dollars. It really allowed us to put in place a system that makes it easier for people to move around, to be healthy, and to really make Minneapolis and St. Paul better communities.
Just as local communities can't afford to build all the roads, they can't afford to do all the infrastructure for non-motorized as well. So I think allocating a portion of our national transportation budget is really important for our national interest.
When we think about how people move around, yes, we do think about cars, and yes, we do think about our mass transit, but we think very much about how the bike lanes, the pedestrian ways, the improvement at intersections can really help people move.
As long as there are going to be monies, federal monies, our tax money spent on infrastructure for transportation, then I think some component of it should be used for pedestrian and for bicycles. It just seems to be the right thing for all kinds of reasons, for health reasons, but also for, again, reducing some of the traffic on our roads and highways.